What's going on, everyone? A bit of a different video today. We're going to be talking about the jazz blues structure, and we're going to be playing a jazz blues on acoustic guitar, finger picking using the walking bass line technique. Okay, so you could play your classic blues using 3 dominant 7 chords, or if you like, even just using a power chord and a sixth, typical of shuffle blues, typical of rock and roll. Think about Johnny B. Good, and have lots of fun with that. That's absolutely fine, not a problem. As well as you could get into the minor blues, which is another blues structure made by minor chords rather than dominant 7. And then there is this structure, which is usually called the jazz blues structure, because although it is a blues and it's based on 12 bars, like any other blues progression, it's actually made by, a lot of jazz flavors and feels and sounds coming from chord substitutions mainly. But what's the walking bass line? The walking bass line is a technique typical of bass and double bass to connect the chords, to go from one chord to the next one, literally walking through the notes in between. And that's exactly what we'll be doing today. So today we'll be playing the chords, mainly using, the bass first, and then another couple of notes using shell voicing, so root, major third, and minor 7. Okay, I'll tell you when we won't use shell voicings, and I will explain what we are gonna be using. And then we're gonna do 3 more notes on the beats 2, 3, 4 to connect the first chord to the second, and so on for the entire chord progression. So the chord will take the beat number 1, end with the end, which is already with a swing feel, okay? And then we'll get the walking bass line for the next chord. Now you can play that with the pick if you like that. You can play that with the hybrid picking if you already know how to play pick and fingers simultaneously. I often do that, but I'm going to be showing you this walking bass line finger picking. So my thumb will be playing the bass note of the chord, and then index and middle will be playing the next 2 notes of the shell voicing. Okay, guys, as always, the chord diagrams and the structure will be on screen. If you also need to see the full tab and music notation of this example to have a look note by note at the entire walking bass line, you can find it to download on my Patreon page. The link is in the description below, and if you become a Patreon, you will also support this channel to keep these lessons coming. Anyway, let's get started with the structure. Let's explain what chords we're gonna be finding in this 12-bar jazz blues. Okay, we'll be playing in the key of B flat, so this will be a B flat jazz blues, simply because I think it's the most common key that you will find if you will approach any jazz blues. Okay, and B flat 7 will be the first chord, the number 1 dominant 7. Okay, usually you find this chord for 4 bars in the classic, 3-chord blues chord progression, but here you only find it for 1 bar, because the second bar already has the 4th degree, the second chord, which is the 4th degree dominant 7, so E flat 7 as an anticipation on the bar number 2. Okay, then bar number 3, you are back to the 1st degree, so B flat 7. Now, in the 4th bar, we'll be playing F minor 7, B flat 7, half bar each, like 1, 2, 3, 4, because this will create a 2-5 to then go to E flat 7 in bar 5, okay? Why is that? We pretend that E flat acts as a 1, and we create a 2-5 to get there. So the 2 of the 4, the 5 of the 4 to get to the 4th degree, which is E flat 7, okay? We basically play a short cadence, a perfect cadence, 2-5-1 going to E flat 7, although E flat 7 is in actual fact the 4th degree of this blues progression, okay? Think of it as a secondary dominant where rather than just playing a 5-1, you actually do a full 2-5-1, okay? Now the next bar, the 6th bar, is going to be an E diminished 7th, the sharp 4 diminished 7th, which is typical of this jazz blues structure. And then in bar number 7 you are back to B flat 7, the 1st degree, but bar number 8 is going to be the 6th degree dominant 7, G7, okay? Why is that? Because this will create the secondary dominant for the chord which comes next. And the chord which comes next, and that's the bar number 9, is a C minor 7, the 2 minor 7 in the key of B flat, okay? The next bar, bar number 10, is F7, the 5-7. It's the first time in this structure that we find the 5-7, okay? So bar 9 and bar 10 will make a 2-5 in B flat, okay? That's why the G7 in bar 8, because this 6 dominant 7, it is actually a 5-7 of the 2, okay? Then in the last 2 bars, although there are several options, and you will find, guys, different turnarounds, different endings to this structure, as well as many other blues structures, it is very likely that you will find a full turnaround over the last 2 bars. A full turnaround means 1, 6, 2, 5. 1 dominant 7, the B flat 7, 6 dominant 7, the G7, 2 minor 7, the C minor 7, and 5 dominant 7, the F7. So let's recap the structure first, so that then we're going to be talking about the walking bass line. So B flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, E flat 7, B flat 7, F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat 7, E diminished 7th, B flat 7, G7, C minor 7, G7, turn around, B flat 7, G7, C minor 7, F7, and back to B flat 7 to start again, okay? Like I said before, we'll be mainly using shell voicings with the exception of the E diminished 7th, where we'll be using the full E diminished 7th, thumb on the A string to play the root, and then index, middle, and ring to play the other 3 notes, the upper part of the chord. Right, and now let's get into the walking bass line, but first let's say why you might want to learn a finger-style walking bass line when you play this structure. Well, this is for countless reasons, okay? One could be that you're playing with a band and the bass player is not actually doing it, so you want to replace it and you want to basically do it yourself. Another reason could be because you actually want to play just with your guitar, no drums, no rest of the band, and you want to be as complete as possible and sound like a one-man band. Then together with the chords, a walking bass line will make you sound more complete, and it's really cool to play. Or you might want to practice your improvisation. You want to use a looper, just an acoustic guitar and a looper maybe. And what you want to do is making sure that in the loop that you use as a backing track, you will also have a bass line which will help you playing in between the chords for your licks. Okay. Anyway, whatever is the reason, let's get into the technique. We start with the first chord playing the bass and then the rest of the chord separately. And then we start by going through notes of the chord. So after B flat, I go through D, major 3rd, F, perfect 5th, but then we introduce a note which is not part of the B flat 7 chord. It is actually a chromatic approach, the note E, to get to the chord E flat. So B flat, D, F, E, and back then to the E flat 7, which is the next chord, okay? Guys, this is a common thing when you play walking bass lines. You can always approach the chord which comes next, either from the note just above, a semitone above, or from the note just a semitone below, okay? This will work throughout the structure in several parts of the arrangement. However, you can also look at this chord as a tritone substitution of the B flat 7 into an E7 to then reach the E flat 7. This is also very common, almost like if you want to play this, okay? We won't be playing that tritone substitution in the arrangement, but I will only be going through the bass notes, okay? So that's how we connect the B flat 7 to the E flat 7. Okay, guys, make sure that you also pay attention to that swing feel. You want to have the swing feel, you want to have a staccato to make the notes short, and in general, any bass player would tell you that the secret of, the groove really is in the length of the notes. So whether you have a long or a short note, that makes a huge difference, okay? And then to go back from E flat 7 to B flat 7, we walk through a chromatic approach from G. So we do G, G sharp, A, and then back to B flat. Why can we do this? Well, first of all, because we know that a chromatic approach to B flat or any other chord really works. In this case, it's A to B flat, and we can extend this to a walking chromatism, really. But also because the note I start the chromatisms from, which is G, is the major third of E flat 7. So again, I'm starting from a note of the chord. E flat 7, major third, and then chromatism, double chromatism really, to get to B flat 7. Okay, so let's listen to the first couple of bars. Okay, the third bar, once I'm back, to B flat 7, will be the same as the first. Okay, so B flat 7, D, F, E, but this time the E will not act as a chromatism to go to E flat, it will act as a chromatism to go to F minor, okay, F minor 7, like this, because we want to play that 2, 5, to then go back to E flat 7. Playing that 2, 5 will be really using that chromatic approach, so F7, B chromatism to B flat 7, E chromatism to E flat, so okay, again, this could be seen as a tritone substitution, double tritone substitution, but we are not going to be playing those chords, just the bass notes. And then from E flat, we want to go to E diminished 7th using notes of the chord G, B flat, the E flat itself, so that we can approach the E diminished 7th chromatically. So E flat 7, major third, perfect fifth, root again as a chromatism to get to the E diminished 7th. From here we'll be using a mix of diminished scale and notes of the chord, and we'll be doing E flat, D flat, A as a chromatism to go back to B flat 7. So like that. All together the bars 5 and 6. Reaching then the B flat 7, which starts the same way as before, so D and F, but then continues chromatically to F sharp, so that we can reach, again with a double chromatism, the G7 all the way up here. So from the G7, we are gonna go through the notes of the chord, so G7, then F minor 7, D perfect fifth, chromatism to C sharp or D flat, to reach the C minor 7. So C minor 7, again shell voicing, notes of the chord, E flat, minor third, G perfect fifth, chromatism to G flat or F sharp, and we are to F7, which is the 5-7. We copy what we did on the G7, so we do F7, notes of the chord, E flat, minor 7th, C perfect fifth, B, which is going to be the chromatism to go back to B flat 7 and start the final 2 bars, the turnaround. So let's play everything we've got until here. From this B flat 7, turn around, B flat 7, chromatic approach F sharp to G7, chromatic approach C sharp to C minor 7, chromatic approach G flat to F7, chromatic approach B, to finish on the B flat 7 or B flat 7 13 if you like. Okay, obviously you can play it as many times as you like as a loop, but if you want to finish, B flat 7 13 is a nice ending. Okay, so let's listen slowly to the entire thing. Guys, make sure to pay attention to the length of the notes, the shuffle feel, the staccatos when I play the chords for a little longer, because the feel, the right vibe is all in there. Alright guys, that's all for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, and remember that more resources, including a full tab and music notation of this example, are on my Patreon page. You can grab them and download them to practice along to this video with a full tab and music notation on my Patreon. The link is in the description, and if you become a Patreon, you will support this channel. Alright. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.